Hi, everybody. Greetings, friends. It's so good for you to join us. We're so happy you're out there. And if you're catching us on an instant replay, greetings to you as well. We hope you enjoy this. We're excited to have you with us. And we are very excited to welcome our special guest today. Welcome to Tracy Zadra from the Alaska Railroad. Welcome, Tracy.
Thank you so much, Pat, for inviting me to be here today.
Well, it is definitely our pleasure to have you on board. You just came back from a vacation yourself.
I did. The choice for most Alaskans for vacation travel is Hawaii. It's only a 5-hour flight. So I just returned yesterday from the Big Island, and it is beautiful and big.
Wow. So I'm glad you had that getaway.
Yes.
Hawaii is always, and particularly this time of year, when you came back to some snowfall, I think.
Yes, it is currently snowing right now. We have about a high of 25, and it will get a little bit warmer throughout the day. But I came back to a beautiful winter wonderland.
Wonderful. And you're located in Anchorage, I believe.
Yes, I live right here in Anchorage, our largest city.
Okay, so you don't get quite as cold as the interior gets.
No, we don't. I've lived in Alaska for 30 some years, and we get a bad reputation of being a very, very cold state, but different areas around the state are a lot colder than others. But Anchorage temperatures, we're a maritime climate, so we're usually in the 20s, 30s during the winter. So it's very comfortable.
That's not bad at all. I lived in
No.
Duluth, Minnesota, and we were always colder
Yes.
than Anchorage by a good bit. So anyway, let's start off, Tracy, with just getting a little bit of your background in the tourism industry. How long you've been in the travel industry, and how long with the railroad?
Yes, so I had mentioned earlier, I've lived in Alaska for 30 some years of my life, and I started in the tourism industry when I was 19, so a long time ago. But I just enjoyed sharing the beauty of my state with others. I worked in hotels, I worked in the trains, at the airports, planes, trains, and automobiles is what I call it. I even drove motor coaches up and down the highways, just narrating and sharing the beauty of our great state with those who ventured north up to Alaska. So I've been with the railroad for about 4 years now, and it's just a beautiful corporation to work for. Just great Alaskans, and just very proud and humbled to work for the Alaska Railroad, being such a iconic landmark in our great state.
And it is definitely an iconic landmark. Well, can you tell us just a little bit about the history of the railroad? I'm sure there's got to be a story there.
There is always a story about the Alaska Railroad. So back in the day, gold was discovered in the interior heart of Alaska, and it just brought a slew of people rushing north to stake a claim. And with all of that came families, discovery of other minerals and resources. So all of these communities began to spring up. And so there needed to be some kind of transportation to bring these minerals to market, so to speak, and then connect all of these communities together. So the Alaska Railroad's been operating for close to 100 years now. 1923 is when President Harding drove that last golden spike, signifying, that's the word, the completion of the Alaska Railroad. So it's just a beautiful way to travel and see Alaska. And the majority of our population live along that rail belt system. So connecting people to civilization, but we are the only railroad system in the entire state of Alaska operating year round.
That is amazing. And Tracy, the Alaska Railroad, it is so much more than just a method of transportation, right? It's not just getting from one place to another.
No, it is one of the best ways to really take in the vast immensity of this great state. The different topography the Alaska Railroad travels through, from coastal regions, through mountains, through past glaciers. You've got these open expanse areas. Alaska is our biggest state in the nation. And when you are aboard the Alaska Railroad, you really feel the vastness of our state. It takes a little while to get to destinations, but it's one of the most scenic ways to really experience Alaska along the rail belt. Just an introduction to Mother Nature, if you will.
And you guys cover a lot of territory. Here's a little map that just kind of outlines that's you cover some distance.
We do. We have over 500 miles of just beautiful scenic track bed. We're connecting that south central portion that you see there up well into the interior heart of our state. And like I said, we're connecting those communities and we're connecting people to the most sought after destinations in Alaska and just bringing Mother Nature to them as they sit back and enjoy the ride.
Truly. And when you ride the railroad, I tell people that this is an experience that it is a maker of lifetime memories. When you do that trip from Anchorage up to Denali or on to Fairbanks, uh, you never forget that trip.
No, no, you don't. And it seems like just about everybody who travels up to Alaska for first time or several times visiting Alaska, you you have some portion of that experience of Alaska along our rail belt and just the scenery, the narration. All of our staff are Alaskans. We're really, really proud of our state. So we're sharing the scenes, the wildlife. Even our engineers are out front looking ahead for wildlife, and they'll radio back to our team on board and let us know if there's a bear with some cubs coming up on the right. So we are just very proud to show off our state, and along the rail belt is probably the most scenic way to experience Alaska. And the beauty of just getting up out of your seat, not being idle, just moving about the different rail cars and the train consist gives you a different perspective. It's just a beautiful way to travel.
It truly is. It truly is. I tell people all the time. I tell our clients, if you have just done the coast, if you have just done the 7 night cruise, that's it's wonderful experience, but you
Mhm.
have missed so much of what Alaska they need to do to get out and explore the interior as well. And if you've made one trip up there and you've done the cruise, it's not too late to fix it, folks. You can still go back and see that interior, and you will not be sorry that you did that.
Yes, our Inside Passage has just beautiful scenery. It's a great introduction to Alaska. But if you're only going to do the portion on the cruise, you're only seeing 7% of our great state. So when you come to the mainland, is what we call it, and really experience the vastness of Alaska. It's different cultures, different scenery, different landmarks. It's just a whole experience. And like I said, I've lived here a long time and I'm still exploring my state. So whether you're pre-cruising or post-cruising, you've got to really take in the land portion of Alaska to really appreciate the big picture.
Now, Tracy, you guys offer various classes of service also. It's not one size fits all, right?
Right, that is correct. Not every passenger that travels up to Alaska is coming up on a cruise or comes up with 5 or 6 pieces of luggage. Some people come up with a backpack. So we do offer two different types of service car levels. Our first is our adventure class cars. These are our single rail cars, real nice, roomy, reclining seats. You got your big windows. You have that ability to get up from the seat, move about all the different cabins. And that's on all of our rail train routes that we have the adventure class. And our second service is our premium all-inclusive Gold Star service. So here's a great picture. You sit up top in these dome cars. You're well above tree line, great views no matter what side of the train you're on. Um, Down below, we have our dining car, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So it's all included. We've got a bartender at your beck and call for alcoholic beverages, as well as bottomless soda, coffee, juice, you name it. And then also exclusive to our Gold Star cars, we have this incredible second level outdoor viewing platform. So we are very proud of this. There's only 6 rail cars in the entire world that have a second level viewing platform, and we have all 6 in Alaska.
Wow,
So
all of
yes,
them.
all of them, second level viewing platforms, and so it's a great place to go out with your beverage, take in some clean, fresh Alaskan air, get lots of different photos. It's just a beautiful way to travel. And with that Gold Star, only those sitting in that rail car have access to that second level viewing platform. So it's not going to be overcrowded and everybody coming into this area to take photos. So it's exclusive just to Gold Star guests.
And I would also say that the food on is amazing.
Yes.
Really, really, you guys do a wonderful job with that dining. You're looking out and watching the world go by. It's an amazing experience. And folks, don't be afraid to try the reindeer sausage.
The reindeer sausage is delicious on board our trains. We serve that during our breakfast routes.
It
So
it,
it is
it
a
was
popular highlight.
it was really good, and just it's not Rudolph.
No, it is not. It's not. Not at all.
Yeah, so in addition, Tracy, to just the rail transportation experience that you offer, you guys also offer some packages. Uh, can you tell us, maybe for somebody who has a short period of time, what 4 or 5 nights to uh, explore a little bit, what kind of options would you be able to offer that individual who wanted to see a little bit of the land tour? What might be an option for them?
Yes, we have created some incredible packages, and they all can be found on our website at alaskarailroad.com/packages. Summer packages, we even offer winter packages, but anywhere from 3, 5, 4, 11 days or more, all of our packages do include the rail accommodations, the hotel accommodations, as well as any day trips. So, a great one to be had is I was going to refer to this as the Taste of Alaska. It's a 5 day, 5 night. You arrive into Anchorage day 1. Day 2, you take the Denali Star train from Anchorage heading up north into the interior heart of our state. Stop in Talkeetna for a flight scene adventure over Mount Denali, North America's tallest peak. It's one of the biggest attractions people come to Alaska. And from Talkeetna, it's one of the greatest little communities to actually see the entire Alaska range. Stay the night there, day 3. Take a jet boat ride into Devil's Gorge, a great whitewater rafting adventure, so to speak. But you're on a jet boat and you're just
I've done
going.
that, Tracy. I did that
Yeah.
jet boat experience, and it is we had a whole herd of caribou come charging out of the woods. And
Wow.
I mean, I don't know how it was hit, and I mean, thankfully we didn't hit anything, but it was a close call because I mean they just exploded out of the woods, and here they came, and he just really had to turn that thing on a dime because there's no warning sign that they're coming. Here they are, just boom. It was amazing. Again, another unforgettable memory from that trip.
Yeah. That's wonderful that you saw that. You just never know what kind of wildlife is going to emerge out of the trees or from the water. It's just it's an adventure in itself, just really not knowing, but experiencing something unique. So I'm glad you had the opportunity to come up and do that. That's wonderful. But a beautiful jet ride down the rivers there in Talkeetna, and includes lunch. Then come back into Talkeetna, explore the town. Very historic community there. Lots of different shops and restaurants. Then you stay the night, and then the next day you'll take the train back to Anchorage and stay the night, and then the next day you're heading southbound. There's our beautiful city of Anchorage, our largest city. And yeah, you get a chance to explore Anchorage. It's a beautiful downtown feel, lots to see and do. We've got a beautiful coastal trail you could walk, or even rent a bicycle if you're interested in doing
You have the
that.
cultural center there that is, you can
Yes,
spend a lot of time there.
yes, the Alaska Native Heritage Center is beautiful. The museum is incredible. There's just so much to see and do. It's almost like you need some extra days just to just to explore Anchorage. So you'd stay the night, and then the next day head southbound into the beautiful Port of Seward on our Coastal Classic train. This here is a picture of our port of Whittier. Um, They've got a Princess Cruise there. So we meet and greet all of the cruise ships that come into our ports. But yeah, there's just depending on how much time you have, post cruise adventures. Seward as well as Whittier offer incredible glacier day cruises where you just feel the intense coldness of these glaciers, and you've got this plethora of marine wildlife just jumping out of the waters, all narrated, guided, and again, you never know what you're going to see on those glacier day cruises.
It is amazing, and you know, folks, if you think these pictures are fabulous, it doesn't even begin to do it justice to what it is when you actually are there and you're seeing it with your own eyes. The pictures are wonderful, but it's just a taste of what you're going to get. What you have some longer itineraries too, Tracy. Anything for more people that have 7 or more nights? What would you recommend?
Oh, we have quite a few different packages to choose from. We have one of our most popular is our Deluxe Alaska Sampler. It's 7 days, 7 nights, very similar to the Taste of Alaska I just discussed. But we visit a special area that's unique only to Alaska Railroad passengers. It's an area called Spencer Glacier Whistle Stop, and we drop you off in a remote area. You have access to this area for several hours. Lots of different adventures here. Catch the train back to Anchorage. There's also for longer packages. We have this great trip. It's one of my favorites. It's the Glaciers, Rails, and Trails. It's 11 days, 11 nights of just pure fun exploration all along the rail belt. Narrated, guided, overnight accommodations. You get to stay inside Denali National Park in the heart of it. Uh, Denali National Park, it is definitely one of the number one destinations of everyone that comes up to Alaska. Just seeing that beautiful, impressive mountain, and just the 6 million acres of pristine wilderness, the wildlife you see, all narrated, guided. It's just incredible to really see the vastness of Alaska here, all the different mountains and valleys, and it's just a pretty trip.
That is so. It's just. I want to go back. I really do. It's been probably 4 or 5 years since we were up there, and I'm so ready to go back and see more because there's always more to see. You said you've been up there all these years and you are still discovering, so you never
I'm
run
still
out.
exploring. No, you never run out of things to do or experience. And I've come across several people who have been up here at least two, three, four different times. Some that have come up here so often for fishing adventures every summer with families that they end up staying. So Alaska's a place you love it, or you just want to come back and visit every other year. But it's a beautiful state.
It isn't, and for people who don't. My husband did not expect to like Alaska. He kind of went because I said we're going, and
Go.
so he said yes here, and so off we went. I had a group going, and I said we're going to go, and so he was okay with that, and but he wasn't expecting to fall in love, and he did. He
Yeah.
absolutely loved that. Tracy, I want to plug in here. We've got a little 2-minute video here that I thought I'd plug in now. Let's show that, and then we'll get back with a couple of closing questions. But hang on, folks. What Tracy's been talking at, you're going to get a little taste of that here.
In a car, it's always a rush to get from one place to another. Here on Alaska Railroad, We don't do that. We let you enjoy what you're looking at.
At its essence, we're the blue and gold. We're the original.
They are blown away.
The sights you see, the people you meet, the hospitality that Alaska is known for, it's unmatched.
If you have never been to Alaska, this would be the time to come.
Whether they're traveling north or south, they're guaranteed to see beautiful scenery and wildlife.
It's just so many different activities that they got going on that it makes it quite interesting.
Our Gold Star car is the only car of its kind with the private viewing deck attached. There's a full-service dining car below you. I've talked to people who have got off, and it's just been one of the highlights of their life. So many times I hear people saying I need a vacation from my vacation because they're trying to figure their way around Alaska, and they've told me that's one of the great things about the railroad is that everyone got to relax, sit back, and enjoy the scenery.
It's the way to see Alaska on an Alaska Railroad train.
So, folks, that kind of gives you an overview of what we're talking about. And as we played that, most all, as as I look back over our trip, we saw most of that wildlife. We were really blessed. We saw the moose, the caribou. We saw finally a grizzly bear. So we over the course of the trip saw it all, and it was so exciting. It was so exciting. Tracy, do you have any suggestions or opportunities for people who might want something focused on a special interest, or maybe photographers or bird lovers? Is it possible to customize it all for people with special interests?
Absolutely. We have several great railbelt partners of ours all along our track bed offering a variety of tours. If you want to focus just on glaciers, we've got great teams that'll take you kayaking amongst the glaciers, climbing a glacier day cruises. If you want to focus on bears, for example, fishing with the bears, watching the bears in action, eating salmon as it's jumping out of the stream. There's just something for everyone in Alaska. And I'm just so happy that you're excited about the wildlife, because you just never know what you're going to see as you're traveling along the rail belt, because we really take you into truly remote areas of our state that nobody else can see from above or along the highway system. So we're always fascinated with the landmarks, the nature, as well as what we see along our track bed.
Thank you for sharing all of that. That is, and it's so true, folks. The elephant in the room is always the COVID thing.
Yes.
So, Tracy, what's going on up in Alaska right now with travel? How accessible is Alaska? What is there good availability? Are things open? What's going on up there right now?
So I am proud to say we are #1 in the nation for vaccines for the majority of our population. So it's very exciting. I get my shot this afternoon. It's open to everyone for shots right now. So all of our restaurants are open. Our summer season will open up toward the end of May. We have several operators along our rail belt in all of our cities, as well as our ports, that are open. Unfortunately, we had the cruise lines decide not to traverse the waters this summer, but who knows? It's still early. Some things can change as far as toward the end of the summer, but we are open and we're excited for a beautiful summer ahead of us. We always have the standards, though, in place for CDC regulations of wearing masks. So the majority of places that you will visit will require masks. Great hand sanitization in every tour that you're on, and we have high standards up here, and so safety is number one for everybody, and just enjoying the moment but keeping safe at the same time.
So excellent. Nothing barring you. And I must say, the cruise lines, they are so anxious to be back in Alaska.
We are excited to have them back. You know, it was a really tough summer last year, having them not be a part of our tourism season, and then again this summer. But we're hoping that, you know, through the CDC and our relationship with Canada, that will open it up. But there are a few cruise lines that are coming to Alaska with 100 passengers or less.
Yes.
Through our ports. So we will welcome them, and we hope to welcome other cruise lines toward the end of summer.
We actually, folks, as you know, if you've been watching, our whole focus for the month of March here on Let's Talk Travel is Alaska. So we actually have a fishing lodge coming on with us next week. And
Oh, great.
then we have Uncruise Adventures talking about the small cruise ship experience.
They're wonderful.
Which
Yes.
is really nothing like a normal cruise. So that's why Uncruised. So we have those the next 2 weeks winding up our series on Alaska. Tracy, it has been so wonderful. The Alaska Railroad is so much of an integral part of the Alaska experience. Nobody has completely done Alaska if they have not done a journey on the Alaska Railroad, in my opinion. That is
Yes.
just how I feel about it. So,
Well, thank
folks,
you. We appreciate that very much. I feel the same exact way. So if you like to learn more about Alaska Railroad and where we travel and our different routes, please visit our website. We also have an on-demand webinar if you'd like to learn a little bit more about our history, our services, all of our different routes and destinations. That's available on our website with travel planning. And you can watch that at your leisure if you'd like to learn more.
wonderful. And you can always contact us at Dancing Moon Travel.
Yes, you can.
We are happy to make those arrangements for you. And Alaska is wide open for land journeys, including the rail journey this summer.
Wide open.
Wide open and welcoming you with open arms. So
Absolutely.
I hope, if you have not already done the Alaska Railroad, that this program has given you a bit of insight and hopefully inspired you a bit. Thank you again for joining us, Tracy, and giving us all this wonderful information. And folks, as you know, we have a special giveaway for the month of March, and here is your word for the day. If you put that in the comments section, just type in railroad in the comments right now as you're watching, and we will get you entered into our drawing at the end of the month for those wonderful binoculars, because you do not want to miss a single thing on your journey to Alaska.
Pat, can I add to your prizes?
Absolutely.
I would love to send you a couple Alaska Railroad calendars and some fun stuff for your guests to the show.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. We are happy to disseminate that
Yes.
and get it out to people. If you just type in railroad and then add the word me too. Let's just put in me too. And if you do that, we'll get out whatever Tracy sends out. I'll see that some of it comes your way. So Tracy,
Yeah.
what a great offer. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. And how fun. People, those of you who are listening live, this is your opportunity. Sorry, I can't do this for everybody if you're catching the replay, but if you're listening live, just put me too in the comments and we'll see that whatever Tracy sends my way, we'll get some of it out to you as well. Thanks again, Tracy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Pat.
And thank
Appreciate
you for
it.
making, for the Alaska Railroad, making an extra special experience for travelers who visit Alaska.
We're not going anywhere. We've been here for close to 100 years. So whenever your plans call for Alaska, we will welcome you with open arms and get you into the beauty of Alaska aboard our scenic track bed. So thank you very much, Pat, for having me today.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.